Ladies and gentlemen, you know how cool it is to have smart people that I get to talk to?
Yeah.
Why are you laughing, John? John and I are buddies now. We became friends. Why did we become friends? We all become friends with those who we grow to trust.
Yeah.
Is that important?
Know, like, and trust.
Know, like, and trust. If you don't trust somebody, why would you ever do anything with them to begin with?
I don't know.
Friend, business, church, baseball team. You get to, in life, you find people that you thought you could trust, and then you can't trust them, right?
Yeah, that's the worst kind.
We all go through problems in life, so I always try to I've made a few mistakes. Believe it or not, everybody, Cardinal Cowboy, I've made a few mistakes in my life, believe it or not. But I admit those things. I'm a cowboy.
Yeah.
On the steel horse I ride. But I get to help. I was in a coma, lucky to survive. I love, my parents are teachers, so that's like, I stayed out of more trouble than most because my mom was like this. Let me point at the camera. My mom was like, what are you doing? And so I said, my mom's watching me somewhere. I even if I know she's not here, I feel like she's watching.
Yeah.
But you want to do good to help people. Does this turn out pretty well for you, John?
It has, yeah. I love what I do.
Why do you love what you do?
Because I help people.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah, yeah.
We talk about, this is a strategy for life, everybody. Here's a strategy for life. Take note. Got my pencil here. Take note. Strategy for life. Help people, and sometimes things go your way. Sometimes they don't, but 99% of the time they do.
Yeah.
And if the people that take advantage of you because you were helping them, the word still spreads that you were helping.
Yeah. I think if you're sincere about it and you truly help people and you're not helping people to try to get something back, that's when it works.
My fraternity, I'm a Lutheran as I grew up as a kid, and then I went to Catholic for St. Louis University. Most of my life has been in St. Louis. Atlanta, I almost moved to Atlanta, literally.
Yeah?
Beautiful young lady that I met, and we were hanging out at training.
And that made you a brave cowboy?
A brave cowboy. I could have been, you know what? I am the Chiefs cowboy. I have the Blues cowboy.
You're a better Cardinal Cowboy.
I'm a Cardinal cowboy.
Yeah.
But I was probably been a brave.
More rings, too.
Well, that's true. Atlanta, I love Atlanta.
It's a great city.
Because they love baseball. And
Yeah.
Baseball saved my life. Look it up, everybody. CardinalCowboy.com. I actually do tour the country, mostly the Midwest, but I've been in Atlanta a number of times. I speak to groups all over the country about how baseball gave me the skills. And I don't care if you play baseball in Florida, Texas, California, Japan, Australia.
Yeah.
Play sports because it gives you skills in life that you don't get anywhere else. Is that fair to say?
Absolutely. So many similarities from what I do. You know, I find myself when I'm talking to my team going back to baseball. A lot of analogies in baseball. I played it. I was more basketball.
Basketball. You look like a basketball player.
Yeah, I enjoy baseball more now.
You're a little short for basketball.
Yeah.
I don't know. How tall are you?
6'3".
Oh, no, you're not that short. Never mind.
I am in today's world.
I puffed up next to him, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm 5'7". I played basketball, 5'9" at the time, whatever. But in high school, I played. I walked on to do the summer camp thing. I didn't play in high school. In grade school, I played with Alan Bennis.
Oh, wow.
And I taught Alan Bennis how to dunk a basketball.
Oh.
You believe that?
No.
No, that is not true.
That's all right.
I will make jokes, and I will tell you they were jokes. But Alan Bennis ended up getting first-round draft pick for the St. Louis Cardinals, 1995, I believe. And he was going to play on my summer baseball team, and then they moved to Chicago. He went to Creighton. Andy Bennis, everybody knows Andy.
Yeah.
Awesome family. We just found out they're part of a church thing that I got involved with to help promote a fundraiser for a church. St. John's Lutheran, down in Arnold, Missouri. They're from L.A.
Really cool.
Lower Arnold. And so that's not real L.A. John Goodman's from L.A., Lower Afton. Mm-hmm. I don't know if he's from lower, higher, but there was a billboard that said he's the actor John Goodman. My mom taught John.
I thought
Goodman.
It was here.
He's from Afton.
Yeah.
Missouri.
Missouri.
But yeah, my mom taught him drama in high school.
Really cool.
After high school, there's the dedication. They built a building, or the building was built. She said, "We're building this auditorium."
That's cool. I did not know that.
Yeah, you know that. So I mention it periodically, maybe every time I have a show. Every once in a while it comes up, but John, she said, "John, you get the lead for Bye Bye Birdie." And the music director said, "Why is he getting the lead? I don't think he can sing." My mom said, "He gets the lead. The rest is history, right?"
And kicked off his acting career.
It's maybe had a little impact. He called. he got his Hollywood star. And he says, "I got to thank it was National Women's Day, happened to be that day or whatever." John's smart guy. He says, he's a good guy. You know, he says, "Let's give a tribute to all the ladies in my life that have helped me make my career successful." He named Roseanne Barr. He named his wife, his agent, a couple other people, and then he goes, and Judy Rethwisch.
Wow.
That's pretty cool. It's my
Really
mom,
cool.
everybody.
Yeah.
You guys wonder why I get this fun flair thing? My mom's a drama teacher for 60-year anniversary she's doing. Anyway, so we think sports, drama, all those things are good for people to help communicate.
Yep.
Because, John, you're an excellent communicator. I have to give you that. And for sure, I'm going to bring up my little personal...
Thank you.
Without giving too much away about the issue. We all have issues, right?
Yeah.
And the issue was my boat took on some water. It's covered by insurance.
You're not supposed to do that.
It's not supposed to do that.
No.
And boats are not. Water's bad.
It is bad.
Inside the boat.
Right.
Outside the boat, okay.
Right. Under the
Good.
boat. Really, under the boat is where you want the
Under
water.
the boat,
Yeah.
mostly. Yes. So I said, "What?" He goes, "Here's what this goes. Here's the process. Make sure you cover your bases." And I'm
Right.
like, "Thank you." And they
Yeah.
did, and they said, "Okay, paid the boat claim."
Yeah.
And that was nice. Helped me to finance this show. Actually, I didn't go buy it.
It's easy when you do things right.
So I
Right?
said, "Thank you. I'm
When
not
you
going to
follow
buy
the
another
rules.
boat. I'm going to launch my TV show." And I had that money available. Never had to actually touch it, which was good. But it was nice to have that extra cushion because that boat was expensive.
Yeah.
And it millions of dollars. It was $4 million.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. It was 17,000.
Right. I don't remember being $4 million, but
Because that would have been a bigger claim.
yeah, it would have been a little different.
Another note here, everybody. John, I thought you were my agent the whole time, specifically because you're the guy I dealt with every time.
Yep.
But you just help everybody,
I do.
and you work around you could help people from around the country. Is that?
I can. Yeah. So
Tell everybody about that as I shut up for a minute.
yeah. So I'm primarily licensed in Georgia, North Carolina, and Florida, and so I can help anyone in those states. But beyond that, I'm networked with the best of the best. So it is people that I have personal relationships with. I have vetted. They share the same, like-minded people, right? And the same idea of how to take care of people. Do it for the reason of taking care of them. You don't need to make money, right? And so here, where I live here in Lake St. Louis, I manage several policies for just friends, family, acquaintances, friends of friends, just to look over it and making sure that they have their questions answered. Insurance policies are pretty uniform across the country, and so I can do a quick review and see what's going on. There's little nuances, but again, I have the network to get that through. And then if they decide, to use one of my partners or friends, then I put them in touch, and we're off and running. But I'm still an advocate, so if things go up, and if things happen they don't like, they can always reach out to me, and I can be the middleman. And I enjoy what I do. I enjoy helping people. Crazy, I know.
Help people.
Yeah,
What?
but it all comes back,
make
man.
it all about me. When you make it all about me, some people do that. And people, I do my Cardinal Cowboy thing, and they're like, he's just trying to get attention. I'm like, guys, you get tired of the attention after the second week. It's just a pain. But I was able to impact a lot of people to say, hey, understand what I'm drawing attention to this charity or this group or these kids and whatever I get to do. And I'll be the one that'll take, they say, this is a joke, I'm not saying this is me, but who are the guys that were leading the pack?
Yeah.
That were helping other people, that were trying to make a difference? You can always see because they got this arrows in their back.
Yeah.
Because people behind them were trying to
Right.
bring them down.
Try to take them out.
And you say, and you get some people, they don't understand life, and they're like, but it's your philosophy, you just shared with us. Help other people, no matter what it is. Even if you're the one that's going to be up in front of the audience, they'll always speaking to the crowd, drawing the attention, making things focused. My buddy, he says, we're going to do a fundraiser. We did one. I said, a kid with cancer, guy with cancer, 40-something. He goes, Cowboy, will you be the host? We know you've hosted hundreds of trivia nights. I'm like, of course.
Yeah.
If you don't have a good host, you don't have a good communicator, that event doesn't make near as much money.
Right.
Hey, everybody, I think we need to do the thing over here.
So they got the hostess with the mostest.
They got the hostess with the mostest. And I'll even shake it a little
There
bit.
you go. I like it.
When I dance on a stage. I do
No,
the
it's
moonwalk.
simple. I had an amazing dad who put a ton of good things in my life and showed me by example to take care of people, and he built a great business. He since passed away last year, but I carry that on, right? And I have a strong, successful business. So, I think everybody would say they need more money. Maybe. My needs are met. And so at this point, it hasn't, over the last few years, once we got to a point where everything, you work hard and you push and I'm a salesman, I get all of that. But you get to a point in life where you just enjoy what you do, and when your needs are met, makes it even more enjoyable, honestly. Because I really know that when I'm digging in and helping somebody, I may not be earning anything, and that's okay. because it's goodwill. It's what you're earning, right? It's when I pass away one day, I want people at my funeral to talk to my kids and say how much, hey, your dad did this for me, your dad did that for me. No one's going to ask what I made. They don't care what I made or what I left behind. You ain't taking
it with you. Nah. My mom knows some wealthy people, and a lot of them. John Goodman has come around and donated a lot of his time and a lot of his money. I don't know how much of his money. I don't know how much money. But, I mean, I might imagine. I know some things he helped sponsor. I don't know what the numbers were. But, and I'll just throw that out. But anyway, there are some other guys that come around, and they're not famous actors. You think John Goodman's fairly well known, right?
Right.
But, and I won't say this guy's name because I know him personally. I met him through my mom. But he said, I'll match whatever you do. He's done well. Something like that. I don't want to say that my mom's going to be like, don't give away any of our stuff about our donors. Sorry, Mom.
Yeah.
I'll edit this out if you want me to. But he made it. He's got a lot of money. And so he wants to start helping other people. Some people make a ton of money and they don't share any of it. They're like, mine. No. Well, that's good. What are you going to do? You taking that to heaven with you? Because I think it pretty much anything, you come in with what you came with, right?
Well, I think we have a responsibility. At some point, when you have the opportunity to help people, it's giving your time. That's the most expensive thing we have, right? Is time.
Yep.
And then second is financial. If you can do it, you should. And things come back around. Again, you can see I don't go hungry. So
well fed over here, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. There's a joke about that. The girls would say,
great restaurants in this area. Let me tell you.
Get the guy who's kind of bulky because he eats well, obviously.
Well, they always say trust a fat chef, right? If it's a fat chef, it's good food.
That's right.
Because they like their own food. But
that's good. And I was going back with the Catholic thing that I learned in my fraternity was give, right? This is what John's talking about. Give, expecting nothing thereof. And I thought for many years even, I'm like, man, that's kind of a crappy policy. Why would you do that? I expect something for what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Everybody should get paid for what they do. But what I found is I've started going to all these charity events and donating my time because I just wanted to help people. And then I realized it all came back. And it came back financially, actually, too. Don't they talk about this? There's a book, I think they wrote this down. Bible or something like that.
Yeah.
And it says,
Imagine that.
I'm not a Bible thumper per se, but it said, whatever you give, somebody quoted this to me the other day and I was complaining a little bit. I'm like, I got some guys I know that are very wealthy. And I hit them up for a text and I said, hey, I got this kids video we did. It's all these kids boxing. I shot 4 days of it. Took a bunch of my time to do that. I didn't tell them all that. They kind of figured that out. And I said, can you throw in $1,000? And they're like, didn't even answer my text. I'm like, really? Come on, man. Some of these people I know are very, very
well, I think you get what you put out there, right? So if you're a believer, it's a biblical principle. Sometimes, if you're a believer or believe something other than the Bible, it may be karma to you, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
But there's something in the world in the universe, call it whatever you want. If you put out goodwill, goodwill happens. I've had people take care of me and with my cars and things like that. So maybe not monetarily, but able to help me with other things. I have a friend of mine that the dude just shows up and checks my HVAC every year. I mean, he's a jewel of a person. Doesn't ask for money or anything like that. Just takes care of people,
Wow.
And I've been able to help him with his insurance, right? Without making money. But it goes around.
Yes. You put it out in the universe, they say, and it comes back. And the quote that's in this book, you should read it sometime. I think it's called the Bible. I didn't read the whole book, but I've heard about a lot of stuff. I went to all these I was like, man, I'm in all this Christian stuff. I got to take a break or whatever. I'm not going to go to church all the time. But I'm glad those principles were instilled because it helped me in life.
Sure.
And so take note if you think this is worth it. That's what John's talking about. Whatever you sow, you reap tenfold. Or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Tenfold, like I helped them raise $15,000. And one of my clients came in and just said, Cowboy, great cause. Here's $15,000. Wrote a check. Boom. I think I made more than $60,000 back in return for that.
You're going to sow seeds of some sort, right? You're sowing every day. So are you sowing discord? Are you sowing, something healthy, something, giving back to somebody?
Maybe the best interview we've ever done in the history of interviews.
I'd say that.
I said it because of you. And I appreciate that. All right, before we get into it, normally we're halfway through here. We're almost halfway there. Oh, living on a prayer. I can do 8 seconds of that, and then I have to stop. But Carroll House Furniture, because you like nice things in your little castle. Thank you, Brooke and Amy, for being a sponsor of the Your Little Castle show. And everybody does like nice things. And I see what I did there? In your little castle.
I've actually purchased from them.
I bet you have.
There you go.
You lived in St. Louis for more than 6 months. You probably had to get furniture.
They were great. So
they're amazing. Now we're going to put up on the wall, thank you, Brooke, Amy, a little information about this gentleman sitting next to me. Usually I'm standing at the Cardinal games. Standing, sitting.
That's not the Woodstock, by the way.
That is not Woodstock.
It's a different Woodstock.
There's lots of Woodstock.
Right.
There's lots of Springfield.
But it's not the
Did you notice
New York
the Simpsons
Woodstock.
always did their show was in Springfield?
Yeah.
Because that connects with everybody.
Yeah.
Because there's a Springfield.
That's a good point.
In every
It's everywhere,
state,
yeah.
Right? Every state has a spring field.
Yeah.
A field of springs. They called it a Springfield. Let's name our town Springfield because we're like, right? Makes sense.
Yeah.
What do you need to? What's the first thing? One of the first things you need to sustain yourself on this planet?
Water.
Spring.
Oxygen.
See what oxygen? Okay, oxygen's kind of there.
Yeah.
We have a discussion about the oxygen, but the
Food.
water, food, shelter. You got to get those things covered. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Go look it up. I just said it. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I learned that at my Lutheran school, and it was that. Then you get to where self-actualization is at the top of the pyramid. They call that Maslow, and that's where you get to help other people.
Yeah.
That's where everybody wants to get, and you've got enough to take care of yourself. But at the very top of that pyramid, which not many people get to, if they would do what we're talking about, they probably would.
Right.
True.
Right. I think as a husband, father, it's my job number one, take care of my family, make sure their needs are met, and then two, it's my fellow mankind. How can I help you? What can I do? Right. What's your skill set? And provide that to other people. It comes back.
Lord help us. I don't want to, like I said, I'm not, I do believe, I'll say this, and I've said this before on my show, maybe one other time. There's this guy named Jesus. I was introduced to him in school. I never met the guy.
Yeah.
Right? He lived a long time ago. Some people say he went to heaven. Some people don't believe that. Okay, that's a personal thing. I'll say that's personal. You figure that
Sure.
out. I'd say, I'll tell you this much, though. If you follow the steps that he recommended as you go through the New Testament, almost entirely is all about him, right? And turn the other cheek, help our neighbor, don't covet. There's another tablets that were written. You remember those tablets? What do they call those?
Simple. Yeah.
The Ten Commandments.
Yeah.
These are simple concepts. It's like we can't talk about them now. I know there are people that deliberately want us to crumble because then it's easier when people have no morals or ethics.
Right.
Then they need somebody to come in and manage that for them, and they
Right.
call them dictators.
Right.
Right. And they come in and they say, "Oh, I will make everything perfect.
Right.
As long as you do everything I tell you to do."
Right.
Right. Doesn't work so well on this little planet.
No.
We've proved that a few times by now.
Right. History has proven that concept wrong on several.
The people tend to rebel.
Yeah.
They like their freedom.
Yeah. And oftentimes those kings lose their heads, right?
I know. I'm like, why would you want to become a dictator? Every single one of them.
It does not end well.
It never ends
History
well.
tells us that.
These
so.
guys still do it in our little planet here. I'm like, get a clue.
Yeah.
You're going to last for 10 or 15, maybe whatever. But there was one guy in a little island south of Florida that I won't say. But like, there was a lot of people who didn't like him.
Yeah.
And he might have made it.
It's elasticity concept, right? I mean, people get pulled and stretched so far, eventually it breaks.
Well, and I guess even their mind, they were helping people by just giving them the raw bare minimums while they lived in the palace.
Right.
They really don't like you.
Just disconnected, yeah.
Yeah. So here we are, our little planet. We've got a little country that we're taking care of. And by the way, the United States does well. The rest of the world generally does pretty well.
Number one exporter.
Strategy,
importer.
policy. Let's get this little planet in order. If you don't like it, Elon Musk says, I'm playing for you.
Yeah, that's
Go to
right.
Mars, right?
Yeah.
Go to Mars. He said it, man, I'm done with this. I'm going to take us to Mars. All right, so we haven't talked about any of the questions we normally talk about.
No.
But because we could just freestyle, right?
It all ties into the same thing, though. It's just helping people. For me, it just happens to be the world of insurance and finance. So.
Let's talk a little bit about that. Dig into that. We know John's background enough right now, I think, to get us. He's a good dude. You know, that's why I said, John. I had a guy who went into the hospital last week, and he's going to be on my show, and I'm like, I got to get a show done, man. I didn't say anything to them. I just went to the hospital. I'm like, take care of your dad, because a text came from the daughter on his phone though, and said, my dad won't be there for the interview. He's in the hospital. I'm like, say no more. We're good.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I got to do an interview. I have to produce my show. The show must go on, as my mom would say. Break a leg also.
We've talked about this, I don't know, 3 or 4 years now.
Yeah.
Finally.
About being on the show, you mean?
Yeah, the stars aligned and the schedules worked. So
yeah, well,
glad
you're
to
a
be
hardworking dude, and I pinged you every once in a while. I'm like, who can I get in this week? Who can I get in this week to be on my show? Talk about life. Talk about what matters. How you do this thing.
People matter.
People, write that one down. How about that, everybody? How about that? That's what I say to people. I'm trying to be a little bit of a smart. The judge from the Cowboy Judge show. Judge, another shout out to you. I can't use this word on camera. I looked it up there. The guy he said you can't do things half.
Right.
And then a word that rhymes with pass. I can say that.
Donkey, I think rhymes.
Donkey, the part of that, yeah. But I'm a fun, entertaining guy, he said, because they came to me and said, let's do the show. We're going to help finance all this. And I said, that's great. That's a lot of money that I don't have to pay, and appreciate it. Taught me all what I do now. But Cowboy, you're fun, you're entertaining, you get people's attention, you're positive, with a smidge of smart.
Donkey.
Or pass. I think donkey would help people understand.
Yeah, probably.
With a smidge of smart donkey. And I'm like, yeah, because you can't, like, no, stop. Knock it off. Hey, you realize what you're doing? It ain't working. That's a little bit of that smart donkey perspective. But I mean, you got to be on the ball too.
Right.
How often do people just wonder where they haven't made it? They're wondering why they're struggling, and they're just not informed. But they can become informed pretty easily these days.
Yeah, generally, I mean, what I found is if you're sincere and you reach out to people, people will genuinely help you.
Yeah.
That's the irony behind it, is it's not, we get ourselves in situations and we're too afraid to ask. Or maybe we're embarrassed, or maybe there's pride, or whatever it might be. But I've built my practice on other people, really. It's just reaching out. If there's an area that I want to do better at, I would search who's good at it, who's the best at it, and work with them and call them. And they don't charge. I mean, I can't tell you how many of my colleagues have given me hours of their time at no cost, and hopefully I've provided things back to them. But
well, if it doesn't come back from you, it comes back from someone else.
100%.
That help them.
Well, and it goes back to what I said earlier. If I can help you in other states, these are the people I'm sending, right? These are the people that have helped me build my practice, that have solid, fundamental running agencies that I can say, hey, you helped me 5 years ago. I've got this guy, that needs insurance in your state. So that's how I'm able to help them and move forward.
Look at the screen here, everybody. Larson-group.com. Forwards on to John's page on this little. You ever guys ever heard of Allstate Insurance?
Yeah, they're small
They
company.
keep people from suffering from things like what happened to Patrick Mahomes yesterday. They said he had some other insurance company that he has represented, and they're probably a wonderful company. I personally don't have their service. I use Allstate. I use my friend John here. I thought he was my agent the whole time. Now I find out he had just referred me to the guy who was connected here. And he's
just the middleman,
He's just answering all my questions, not getting paid for it. But he does that for a reason, because it comes back around.
Sure.
Anyway, go to Larson-group, group.com. Don't listen to me. Just read it on the screen. And you call or text that number that's on there. Is that true?
Yeah, you can.
404-592-4305.
Yep.
And then it'll get into your system for your small group of people you work with directly, your support team. How many people are on your team now?
I'll have 22 here shortly. So.
Okay, but that'll probably go into direct to somebody who handles
That's
the call.
just my team. So from there, it goes out to, there's probably 1,500 nationwide.
Oh, agents, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You will say, here's somebody I definitely recommend in that city if you are connected and that's been doing it established. A lot of times you can look at the history of people. They'll say, been an agent for 27 years or whatever.
Yeah.
Usually they know what they're talking about if they've been doing it for anything over 10 years.
But it's good to know a personal reference too, because, by having a referral from me or one of my partners, then, if something's going awry and you don't like what's going on, you can always reach out to me, and I'm an advocate. I'm friends with them, right? So I can do the whole nudge, like, hey, man, I need you to call Cardinal. If something's going on Cardinal Cowboy, you're not calling them back. And 9 out of 10, the agent is not as involved on a day-to-day basis as it's just evolved. And so it's a team that's maybe bogged down, hasn't gotten to that call, something like that. And so as an agent, we want to know. If you're not getting a response from my team, I'd like to know, because one, it's more than likely my team's amazing, so more than likely it's a capacity issue, and so I probably need more team members, or what's going on in that situation.
Well, hurricane came in and caused $45 billion of damage.
Yeah, so things like that happen when an insurance agent, we're inundated. So you might have a billing question or things like that, but that falls to number 2 or 3 because I've got someone that's no longer in their house. They don't have food. I've got to find refuge for them, right? So that's going to take presence, obviously. So
shelter, yes.
Yeah, things like that. Going back to that food, water, and shelter, right?
Maslow's hierarchy of needs, everybody. Look it up.
Full circle. So it ebbs and flows. And so, majority of the time there's plenty of team members on the team to help with situations. But
all right, well, that's right. This whole show is dedicated to, it's 1 o'clock. You've got to jump on a call here.
Yeah.
But we're finishing up. I've got 3 minutes left of the recording time here. So you're going to stick around for 3? You can still do that, or you got to jump off. John might jump off. Just unplug your mic, and then you can unfish it through your shirt whenever you...
I'll stick 3. I can be 3 minutes late.
But literally, get a hold of John. He will make sure and take care of you. We all look for people like this that we know that we can trust, count on, and we'll be there. And I've been telling people I know, one in particular, and she is comfortable with the agent she has, but she keeps having little things come up. I'm like, how about the group discount? How about, there's all kinds of reasons why you should.
Well, the beauty is you can ask me questions and not necessarily become my client, right? I'm not making money off of you anyway. So at the end of the day, I can help you, maybe give you some pointers to bring up to that agent that you like, right? And so,
yes, that might be a good idea.
Yeah, just look at me as more of an app. This is probably your strangest show because I'm not actually selling anything, right?
But you're selling and you don't even know it because people say, I can trust that guy. And that's who they want.
I could be an advocate. So look at me as your advocate. And, in the 3 states that I'm in, North Carolina, Georgia, Florida, I can actually be your agent. But other than that, I'm here to help.
Good people do good things because it turns out well for everyone involved, especially the customer who's going. I just had a tornado come through. I had a tornado hit my house years ago.
Scary. And
it was like, and it tore off somebody's chimney stack, ended up in my front yard. I was like, I only had, $20,000 worth of damage or something. They only repaired 2 sides of my siding. My buddy told me, he says, that even as I have white siding, he said, that siding should have still been fixed because you go touch it, it's got a chalky finish over here. Yeah. The new stuff doesn't have the chalky finish. You want one half of your house to be chalky finish and one half not to be? Well, you agreed to it, so now you're done, and that's all you got. If I'd have had you weren't not my agent back then. So.
Yeah, I could have helped you.
I would have said, the guy was get on my show and listen to all the experts that we have on here. Your Little Castle, yourlittlecastle.com. Check out our leaders. We Go Lead. We, G-O-L-E-A-D. We had a lead specialist on, and she goes, we go lead. She talked about lead. I said, it is spelled the same, but either way you end up. All the experts. John's going to be on our WeGoLead.com website here shortly also. But with that, we are now down to 1 minute left from right here. What would you advocate is the most important thing somebody makes sure they take care of before they decide to pick which agent they're going to go with?
Well, I think do your research, ask around, get referrals. And then I always tell my clients, think about the end in mind first. So what's the worst thing that can happen? You lose your house, your cars, whatever, hurricane. And then let's build the coverages to match that, right? To make sure that you're covered. Worst thing that can happen to me is to tell someone they don't have enough coverage or they're not covered. It's the worst thing for the client to hear that, and it's the worst thing for the carrier, right? So 3 for 3, we don't ever want to be in a situation where someone does not have the right coverage. And so having those conversations early, take the time, talk about worst case scenarios, talk about your assets so your insurance agent knows what he's protecting and how much he needs to protect, and then pay. Look, sometimes we get a little cheap with our insurance, and but we go to Starbucks, right, and we'll spend 6 times what we should on coffee, right? Because we're comfortable with it, whatever.
Yeah, we're about to finish up here. We'll talk more.
Take time.
Baby. Get out there, do it right. Cheap gets very expensive, everybody.